Story 1. My son deserves better. I, 36 female, regret becoming a parent. And my son, 22 months, deserves a parent that wants him. My little boy is the absolute best. Such an easy child to parent. He's so beautiful and funny. My husband is head over heels for him and is very involved. I'm breaking down and feel like I could just walk away at any minute, partly because I want my freedom, but partly because I think they would be better without me. I know part of what causes the regret is my lack of sleep. He has never slept through the night, which I know is normal, but he wakes me every 2 hours to nurse. I'm night weaning him next week. I digress. I'm a responsible parent and show my son all the love I can. I'm really good and suppress how I feel around him, but I just feel like he deserves a better mom. He deserves a mom that wants to be home with him and doesn't care that her career's gone because she loves him so much. He deserves a mom that has always wanted him and can't imagine a life without him. It's just not me. If I could snap my fingers and go back in time, I would have read this sub thoroughly in hopes it would change my mind. He was very much planned, which is why the regret puzzles me at times. Sometimes the only thing that keeps me from leaving is the fear of fucking him up with abandonment issues. Edit. Seriously. Thank you everyone for the support. I was breaking down from exhaustion 2 days ago. My husband took care of my son the last 2 days and I feel much better. This exhaustion just really snuck up on me. Now that I'm in my right mind, I know this is just a really hard time in parenthood and I will get through it. I'm night weaning right away. And yes, I do struggle from PPD, but it's been controlled with meds. I'm just really tired. Thank you guys for helping to snap me back to reality. Story 2, my girlfriend, 22 female, and I, 22 male, got into a fight and she told me that I deserved being cheated on by my ex. Any advice on what to do next? So this happened last Sunday. We got into an argument which escalated to a fight where we threw words back and forth. I guess she got so irritated at me and told me that I deserved that my ex cheated on me. After that, my heart just sank. 5 years of telling myself that it wasn't my fault that my ex cheated on me, and years of building up my self-confidence just shattered right in that instant. I don't know what to feel anymore. I'm numb. I find myself crying on the bus ride home. I find myself drifting while having conversations with people. It really hurt me, and I told her that, but now she thinks that it's better that we part ways. But the thing is, I love her. She's the light of my life. After what happened between me and my ex, I got addicted to drugs. But when I met her, I was sober for a year. She made me realize that life isn't that bad, and all is in the past now. But what happened to us last Sunday made me rethink our relationship and how she really sees me. Does she think I'm some kind of pushover? That's why my ex cheated on me? I honestly don't know what to feel. We saw each other earlier, but there was nothing but sadness inside me, where I just drove and not speaking because I wanted her to feel that I'm sad about what happened and that it really hurt me. I guess it's my fault for playing it that way, but to be fair, I don't know what to do. She later said that it's better that we should cool off for a couple of days. But all I wanted was a sincere apology and maybe invite me for dinner or IDK buy me something that I like. Story 3. I deserve better. That's what she told me last night. After 11 years, she's throwing it all away. I gave her everything I could give. She has never worked. She was in charge of household stuff like taking care of bills. I would help clean. I loved caring for our children, and I loved being a husband. I wouldn't bug her about sex, nor did I stay mad for very long at her. I hardly ever told her no, and generally tried to do everything I could to make her happy. What did I get out of it? I got drained bank accounts and a broken heart. I didn't even go out with the guys in order to try and make her happy. I completely lost who I am in an attempt to make her happy. I don't even know where to start. I put everything I had into this relationship and it's all up in smoke. Like good luck finding better when you do absolutely zero to add to a relationship and instead wreck it with the negative attitudes and how everything will always just go wrong. I'm sorry for the post I just lost and need to vent. We have 2 daughters, ages 13 and 9, and I even adopted one of them from a previous relationship she had. I care for both our children equally and try my best to be a great father. Like, what the fuck did I do so wrong? I even forgave her after she threw a shot glass at me and cracked me in the head with it. I didn't press charges even though the cops wanted me to. Like, what the fuck was so wrong with me? Sure, I'm not the greatest looking dude, and sure, I'm not rich, but I'm retired from the military and I work my ass off to provide. I still do household chores when I'm off and I don't complain. Like, I can't figure out what's wrong with me that my wife just suddenly decided she deserves better and is ending our marriage after 11 years. Edit. Thank you everyone for the advice, and yeah, I'll admit I was too nice and completely lost myself. I was just trying to be a good husband and I thought that's what was required. Our dynamic was very chill and we had an amazing time together. These last few years have been hard, but hey, they've been hard for everyone. But literally, we were just wrestling and laughing, and then boom, I want to divorce BC. I'm not in love no more, and I deserve better, like completely out of left field. We've gone to counseling, and I thought things were getting better, and nope, completely off. So I've at least been able to move out of my bedroom and set up space in a new bedroom. I just don't have the funds to get a place on my own. This is going to be one hell of a process as she has control over everything. Went through an extremely bad time when I was getting medically retired, so it was necessary for her to take over like she did. Right now, I'm demanding that she gets a job and shares the bills till our house sells and we can cancel our debt and move in. We are both in agreement that everything should be as smooth as possible for the children's sake at least, and it's not fair for them if either parent is hurting financially because the other one wants to get one over on. Again, thank you all for the advice. I'm heartbroken, but I know I'll heal eventually. Edit 2. Talked from 10:30 to 2:30 a.m. Unloaded my heart out to her and told her how I feel. She had told me a little bit earlier, but still less than 24 HRs, after she said she wanted a divorce, that she had already mourned the marriage, and that I'll get over it. You've already mourned it? I'm just starting. There's no way. When she gave her reasons, they were pathetic. She brought up the fact that she's bitter. I told her no from 8 years ago. About going to a concert BC, we couldn't afford it, aka I don't keep promises, even though we couldn't afford it, and she knew it. She just refuses to let things go from slights that she has perceived against her, and instead tries to emotionally manipulate me. In the end, what I'm getting out of this is I poured my love into a fucking strainer, and no matter what I would do, it wouldn't be good enough. Story 4. My wife deserves better than me. I am 37, male, and my wife is 35, female. We have been together since high school, where I was 17 and she was 15. She was a freshman and I was a junior. Her friends for a long time told her not to date me. Other people over the years have told her not to date me or marry me. Well, she married me. We have been married for 9 years. As of this December, I have a lot of damage from my adolescent sexual trauma, which I have been in therapy for, including eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which helped. I have been emotionally unavailable likely my whole life, and I have had my walls up as well. My walls were not walls, but a fortress surrounded by a mixed high-density minefield that is pre-designated with artillery, backed up by combat support aircraft stacked every 500 feet from 500 to 65,000 feet, and a few salted nuclear missiles on DEFCON 1. Salted means cobalt-tipped. It creates cobalt-60 during the fission process, which is highly radioactive, toxic, and long-lasting. As of 3 weeks ago, that changed, and it changed within 24 hours due to heavy introspection and some help from sex over 30. I initially thought that the reason why I was not feeling satisfied and connected in my relationship with my wife was because we were only having sex maybe once or twice a month. It always coincided with a date night, or if I had been rejected multiple times over the course of the week. So I looked up scheduling sex, and I asked Reddit how that has worked for them in the past, and how they got over the whole time crunch of the scheduling part. Someone in that subreddit pointed out to me that I was looking at it all wrong. I needed to look at it as a mini date. I spent a couple of hours doing introspective thinking on it and realized that when we started dating, and even before that with our friendship, our relationship was not based on sex. It was based on communication. I waited 3 years to have sex with her. True story, she was 18 when we had sex. In fact, it was a week after her 18th birthday. We lost our virginity to each other. I realized then that our connection was communication and non-sexual touch-based, even though we were doing foreplay stuff during some of our dates. I initially informed my wife that I wanted to try this scheduled sex thing before I did the introspection, and she reluctantly agreed to it. Once I did the introspection, I texted her during the day to tell her to not expect sex, and that I would not be expecting it either, that it could just be us laying together, snuggling, cuddling, and talking, and if anything else happens, it happens. No pressure. When she got home, we just laid there and talked for over an hour. I swear time accelerates during these periods. At the end of it, she apologized that we did not have sex, and I told her I was not upset, mad, or disappointed. It didn't happen, and it didn't need to happen. The next few sessions were the same, and I learned some stuff even from the first one. My wife was stressed out. I was not really helping out around the house. I was emotionally unavailable and detached, and this last one still hurts like hell. She saw sex with me as a to-do item on her list. Damn, that hurts like hell. Here's the thing though, I was just using her as a glorified fleshlight, a means to get off and get an endorphin rush. I was not initiating any foreplay. It was all she gets herself ready. I get myself ready, and in 10 minutes it's all over. We were also not sleeping in the same room. She would fall asleep next to our daughter in her bed. I always associated sex as intimacy, the ultimate form of it. In fact, intimacy is the emotional connection, and sex is the byproduct of it, the culmination of it. Sex is not an end goal. The goal is to be connected. Sex is just a part of that connection. The communication and non-sexual touching is what builds the real connection. After I figured all of this out, my wife told me, "You went from 5% emotional availability to a 105%, and went from a 5-year-old's emotional maturity to a 25-year-old's in the span of 24 hours. It's a bit overwhelming." This is verbatim BTW. My wife has yet to touch a single dish in the last month. I took on the job myself, she never asked. I do the dishes because I saw how stressful it was for her, and I don't want her stressed out. I also vacuum the house after we pick up the mess our daughter creates, being the category 5 hurricane of energy that she is. We went from having sex once or twice a month to 3 to 5 times a week, depending on scheduling. I'm also now enthusiastic about foreplay and found that I really like giving oral to her. It's kind of a new kink for me. It took me 37 fucking years to figure this shit out. 37 years. Her friends and the other people were right. She should have left me and never married me. I am damaged goods. Why in the hell she stayed with me, much less said yes and I do, is beyond me. I feel she still deserves better than me, but this is just my ranting, venting. Maybe it will end up helping someone else out. Sorry for the wall of text.